play. Bum, 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 bum. There we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to our Brews and Bloodwine live stream here at Star Trek New Worlds. I see there's a couple of folks of you watching and joining us live. What is this impromptu live stream that's happening on Sunday at 6 o'clock Pacific time? It is a celebration of reaching 200 plus subscribers on YouTube. As I use my up-to-date, my most up-to-date technological tools, I'm able to look at and tell that we are now at a total of 208 subscribers. So thank you, everybody, for all 208 of you who are subscribed and who are watching this show either now live with us or on the replay. So Bill, I see Bill is in the chit chat. I got two viewers right now. Not exactly the biggest audience in the world, but nonetheless, we are here to be able to celebrate all things Trek, to enjoy a brew, and to chat for the next hour or so. We will chitter chatter about all things Trek, all things in the game, and whatever floats your boat or tickles your fancy. We are here to chit chat and just celebrate the fact that we have a fantastic community of players, of supporters, of folks who enjoy not only playing this game with us, but enjoy all things sort of Trek and ADB. Hey, Lord Lawless, evening. I can see that. For those of you who don't know what Star Trek New Worlds is, it is a turn-based strategy game that we play using the Federation and Empire rule set as published by the Amarillo Design Bureau. We play that game, and you can see that on multiple live streams that we have on this channel. We present that to you on a week-by-week basis as we go through the turns, and we show you the map as produced using a platform called Vassal, a hex-based map that shows you all the nitty-gritty on what it is we do in this war game that we play with a little RP sprinkled in for spice. So I guess the first thing I want to ask or throw out to everybody is what do you want to talk about today? What are we going to chitter chatter about? And as I throw that out there, and you guys, Lord Lawless and Bill, you guys can think about what it is you want to chit chat. I'm going to throw to this screen here, which is just a slight change to what we have. What I'm showing you here is obviously my face, but if you caught yesterday's sort of surprise live stream, we had Daniel, our game master, come on and talk about what it's like to be the game master, his experience with the game, how he found us as a community, and just all the discussion around that. That was a great format, and I'd like to be able to do that in the future with more of our players and guests. And this is the kind of screen format I was thinking of using. So obviously there's me in this screen, and then down there would be the guest. And then, of course, we'd have the chat scrolling along the side. How does that work for you? Would that be something you'd be interested in? You let me know, and we can sort of move that ball forward. Let's see what Bill's saying. So Bill's saying, hey, Norman, what's your favorite race to play in F&E? So, Lord Lawless, what's your favorite faction, so to speak, in all things ADB, whether it's SFB or F&E? It's funny, I've had the opportunity to play a number of factions, and I've done the Feds, I've done the ROMs, I've done the Klingons now, I've done the Paravians, and that's it. So those are the factions I've played. So far, I've got to say, I really like the Paravians. I didn't get to take them to GW, which I was hoping to do, but so far I've really enjoyed the Paravians as a playstyle. I think with more experience, I could have had some fun with the Federation, but yeah. So Lord Lawless, you say second would be Lyran, because catamarans are cool. Sailed them in real life a bit many years ago. Yeah, I like the sort of modular design of Lyran ships. I've never played Lyrans though. It'd be kind of cool. I also am curious about the Kzinti and their drones. Like how do how would the evolution of drone tech work in the strategy level of the game. And I've played up against players who were playing the Kazinti, and they were a real pain in the butt to deal with. So yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see what that would be like, and play up against any kind of kitty cat faction. That would be fun and exciting to try. So I appreciate the build, saying that screen cut looks good. I'm hoping that we'll get a number of our players to fill that box, so to speak, to be able to be the other face on the screen and share and chit chat about what it is, what it's like to be able to play the game, how much fun it is, why they do it, and things like that. So yeah, I mean, whatever essentially works for the community as far as providing content that is valuable. Let me ask. I'm going to take a quick sip in celebration. So happy at this point. What were we at? 200. I just said it. 208. So happy 208 subscribers, everyone, with Star Trek New Worlds. Thank you very much for your support. Very much appreciate it. Really enjoy kind of creating this content. And so your support is greatly appreciated. We're on the road to 500. So we can open up the community tab, and then once we get there, nothing but good things happen. So cheers. With my head mustache. All right. Bill says, play Kazinti as Klingons with weak ships early. When drones get to speed 12 or higher, drone bombardment becomes valid. Yeah, drone bombardment. Klingons have drone bombardment. And so I'm kind of curious to see what, as the years carry on, how I'm going to be able to use as a Klingon, be able to use drone bombardment in the game. I know that, for example, the Carnivons in this one, I've started to use it, or at least build ships that can use it. And we don't have a Kazinti faction, so it'll be interesting to see. I guess I'm the drone bombardment player, me and the Carnivon, maybe? We'll see. Lord Lawless says, what are we all... maybe imbibing? Oh, my goodness. Imbibing this evening. Bosun HLV Ale for me. I've got from a brewery here in Victoria called Hoyne, and it's Vienna Amber Lager is what I'm sipping on. I'm sort of a amber light beer kind of guy. Well, not light beer. I don't like light beer. I like flavorful, but not. I don't like stouts. Stouts are not my thing. I don't like hoppy drink or hoppy beer either. I'm not a big fan of the IPA. Hefeweizen for Bill. Very nice. So let me ask you guys. I see we got now three on board. So thank you everybody for watching, joining us live. That is. So in the world of all things sort of Trek or ADB, what is the thing that kind of like gets you more excited, or the thing you enjoy more about Trek these days? Because one of the things, I mean, I grew up watching reruns of TOS, and then of course TNG started, and stuff like that. So there was a period in the 90s where it was like a new Trek series was coming out all the time. It was DS9, and then Voyager, and then Enterprise came out. But it seems like there's quite a renaissance of Trek. I personally wasn't a big fan of Discovery, although the Strange New World trailers and all the stuff I'm seeing around that looks really interesting to me. I love Lower Decks. I haven't seen Voyager or Star Trek Prodigy. I haven't watched that. But love Lower Decks. And generally speaking, like, I'm watching Picard. And I find that although Trek these days isn't sort of what I refer to as my Trek, I am enjoying it nonetheless. I mean, depending on your preference, it beats, Space Wizards with laser swords, but Obi-Wan's coming out soon enough as it is, so we'll be able to enjoy that as it comes. A little bit of heresy, perhaps, talking about all things Star Wars when you're on a Star Trek channel. But yeah, seeing it on TV, then playing it for sure. This being a strategy game, turn-based when it comes to F&E, what kind of what kind of other Trek games have you all played? I played, of course, SFB. There was the FASA Starship Simulator, Combat Simulator, I think it was called, but it was like basically SFB, but by a different name, using the movie era content for ships and things like that. I played that. I liked that one. I played that when I was younger. I like the computer games, Starfleet Command Series 1, 2, and 3. I gotta admit, a lot of the Star Trek games, even Star Trek Online, I haven't really sort of enjoyed Star Trek Online, and I don't enjoy a lot of the Star Trek stuff that's come out. There were some real-time strategy ones that were like, it was Star Trek Armada and stuff like that that was okay back in the old days, but there hasn't really been a good Trek game recently that I've enjoyed playing, other than what we've created here in the sense of like doing it F&E style online. So yeah, Fed CA, fire all photons, narrow salvo, Bill says. Yeah, well, I mean, it's fun to play. It's fun to, be the captain piloting your ship, and, depending on what you're playing and how you're able to sort of play different scenarios and stuff, it's fun to be able to do that ship-to-ship battle stuff. I really enjoy that. Well, so quick question for Lord Lawless. How did you find the channel? How did you come across us as a sort of a group, a community? What was it that you liked about the stuff that we were putting out? What kind of piqued your interest? And why do you keep coming back? Not in a, like, just so that we can understand, so I can understand what it is that you like to see. Because at the end of the day, I create these videos and the content on the channel to, describe and discuss and sort of map out what it is we're doing in the game, which is fun. An evolving story that we can tell. And the tutorials along with it are tutorials I create to make things a little easier to understand and easier to play. But, it's all about providing a touch point for our community as a whole to be able to enjoy, come together, rally around content, and enjoy what we're doing, whether that's watching Trek on TV with the new series that are coming out or the ones that are playing right now, or creating the content that we create here online on YouTube and on various other platforms. So let's see. Lord Lawless says, want to play that bridge simulator vid game. I really want to try that out sometime, especially after I get some VR. Yeah, I think bridge simulator could have had a lot of potential, but VR just isn't, like, the critical mass of VR hasn't been reached when it comes to, enough people aren't using it. And so, if there's not enough people using VR, then it doesn't really, you're not really able to enjoy the experience of ship-to-ship battles and stuff like that. I find that SFC was a much, like, even at the time, it's basically SFB. So it was an easier execution of the SFB experience, which, I mean, I don't need to be virtually on the bridge doing the console stuff and trying to work with, in real life, other players who are the helmsman, the weapons officer, or the communicator, or various other things. I don't feel that I need to do that. I can control all that, sort of like SFB style. But yeah, if VR was more of a thing, can you imagine? It'd be cool to go to a location where you can, essentially like a holodeck, put on a VR set, walk into a virtual space, and you and a team of people can take control of the bridge and run a simulation, sort of like your own Kobayashi Maru. That'd be kind of fun, I think. Maybe. We'll see. But yeah, Lawless, or Norman, sorry. What was the how did you find the channel? Did it just kind of pop up in your feed? And what is it about the stuff that we make that keeps you coming back? What is it, the thing that you enjoy the most? Because like I say, the more we know about that stuff, the more we can create that stuff. That is, the best way to go. I guess the big question is, now that we're at we're getting closer and closer to the 500. We're at 200 and we're over 200, and it would be nice to be able to get to the milestone of 500 to get that community tab. But in order to do that, we need to be able to provide the community what they want. So what do you want? I come back to see the Klingons dominate the galaxy. Well, in that case, let me just keep working at making that happen. Because, yeah, I feel like I'm just getting started. You know what I mean? Like, let's stretch out that back. I'm just starting to bring the pain train to the galactic community of our game. Yeah, I got to say, well, here's a question. Hey, Dell's on. It's the Remans, they being the subscribers that bring the subscribers to the yard. That's right. Of course. Well, I mean, whether it's Remans or Klingons, pick your flavor. Basically, two sides of a coin, vicious on either side, and the martial prowess is certainly there. Cheers, my Reman friends. Dell, welcome to the live stream. Dell, for all those who are not in the know, is our Reman player. Currently, the biggest, baddest fleet owner in the game, and certainly in a very sort of Theodore Roosevelt kind of way, carrying his big stick and speaking softly. I imagine that speaking softly is going to change in the next couple turns, so we'll see how that evolves. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. If the Remans are doing it in the north and the Klingons are doing it in the south, I mean, we can just race. We can race to kill everybody else and sort of meet in the middle, shake hands, and be like, "Hey, you take north, I'll take south. We'll be good to go." Or we'll gang up on the Tholians, because between the Tholians and the Hydrons, I figure those are the two factions that are going to be the hardest to kill at this point. Of course, I say that, and now I'm going to get like a bunch of Australian ranting coming my way, and the Carnivons are going to kill me again, or the Romulans are going to stir the pot and start, doing some stuff. So we'll see. Cheers, my fellow Klingon, Dell says. Next turn. Got that giant fleet, but nothing to use it. Nothing to use it on. He coughs. Well, we shall see. I have a feeling. Well, Dell, tell me about this. Tell me about this weird neutral zone you guys have, where you have like 2 bits and a gap in the middle. What's up with that? What's with the neutral zone? That's right, Dell. What's with the neutral zone? Was that like a typo between you two? Because we asked Daniel about that, Daniel the GM, and he said that was the way you guys wrote it out. So he did it exactly how you wrote it out. Was that gap on purpose? Question mark. I'll need to have a chat with you about that. He smiles. Well, it'll certainly be interesting to see how it all comes out in the wash. Certainly, as things heat up in the north, it'll be interesting to see how that kind of comes to fruition. How is that drum going to be beaten? Or rather, how are you going to beat the bejesus out of the Lyrans? Because that seems like a one-way fight to me. We shall see. It's a work in progress. Yes. The neutral zone, I'm assuming. Yes. Work in progress. Well, I mean, it's if I'm a Reman, it looks to be far too east. I think we need to push that border west. As the Pet Shop Boy said, go west to the open air, go west. Yeah. So we'll see. Can't really say much, but with a long on the end of that, there are things being laid for future turns. Mr. Burns says, yes. Well, we shall see how things evolve in the coming turns. It'll be very interesting to see how things spark up, because even though we talked about the crescent of conflict and between the Hydrons picking fights now with the ISC, the Carnivons, the Klingons and the Romulans and the Gorn getting into it. Now the Remans are going to drop the hammer, literally, hammer fleet, and things are going to get exciting. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that kind of comes out or how that manifests. It's going to be neat. Cool. Interesting. Here's a question for you all. Del, I know as far as time zones go, this is probably not the best time zone for you, but what is the best time for us to have a community live stream hangout like this? This is 6 o'clock on Sunday, my local time, but we have players in Australia. We have players in the UK, across the United States, obviously here in Canada. So many different time zones and literally on different sides of the earth, Australia and the UK. So how can we, or what do you think would be the best time to be able to have a live stream hangout? Would it be better to have this sort of like pre our 11 o'clock show, or something more like akin to, I don't know, maybe early afternoon Pacific time, something more like 3 or 4? I don't know. Is Friday, Saturday, Sunday? What day of the week do you think is best? You tell me. There are rumors of an alliance. Ooh, rumors of an alliance. By the by. Well, we'll see. We shall see. At least 4 continents. 4 continents, that's right. Yeah. Well, hold on. No. If we think of the UK as being part of the European continent, North America, Canada, and US, Australia, that's 3. I don't know. Where's the 4th? Where's the 4th continent? And an island. Yes. My island. Can't sleep, so popped on to say hi. Well, I'm glad, Del, that we can help sort of maybe feed your insomnia in some way, shape, or form. But 3 continents and an island. Yep. Well, I mean, hopefully this will be entertaining and fun for those of you catching it on the replay. Like I say, it's going to go for about an hour. It's about 20 minutes in now, or about half an hour. And so, just looking to be able to talk about all things Trek, to be able to sort of share in the celebration of our community and sort of what's going on. I know that the map, and I kind of mentioned this a little bit with the discussion with Daniel, in that going forward, what kind of, well, here's a question. For all of you in the community, if you're watching this on the replay, put this in the comments, please. If you're in the live stream, throw it in the chat. What do you think would be best? How can we best serve you as the community? What kind of entertainment? I mean, Lawless has talked about how, he wants to see the Klingon dominance in the game. I'm doing my best to give you what you want. Trust me, it's coming. So as far as Klingon dominance in the game, check. We're working on that. But what other things would you like? Are those tutorials, like when I look at the video analytics on the tutorials, I mean, they're not terrible, but they're not great. I mean, the trailer, for example, is our #1 video on the campaign. And right now, our, as of today, the beginning of April, in 2022, new donation from Lord Lawless, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Lord Lawless, thank you so much for that donation. I very much appreciate it. Helps, in this case, not so much caffeination, but more libation. So thank you very much for that. Interesting to note, just so you guys can see this, the Lord Lawless donation is lingering at the top of the chat. Interesting that it does that. That's cool. So I'll have to make note of that for next time. What I'll do is I'll have this screen up and running when we're chit-chatting to our various folks, and then those donations can sort of linger at the top and then carry on. But back to this screen. What do you think? Do you want more tutorials? We can do more tutorials without a doubt. I kind of enjoy doing those. especially when it comes to the different rules that we're seeing used in the game. So, for example, I think right now, based on what's coming, I think a description around supply would probably be a good tutorial. Maybe we can talk about the generalities of the tech tree, although the tech tree is not in itself an FNE thing. It's more particular to our game. Dell's saying, I would be interested on feedback in the comments or chat about what the Riemann Empire will do with Hammerfleet. Well, I'm thinking it's too legit to quit, if you get my Hammer reference. I feel like you should drop it on somebody. Identify a nail and make that nail flush. Measure Man says, this is actually a better time for me than the Saturday time. Really? Oh, okay. Well, if this is a better time for you, fair enough. Yeah, it's just a matter of finding out what works best for everybody, right? So if Sunday night is a better time, maybe this is more of a, I don't know, maybe would Friday evenings be a better time for this kind of stuff? Friday evening leading into our Saturday morning chit chat. The only thing is I don't want to have too much beer on Friday night so that I'm groggy on Saturday morning. But we can do a hangout or something, maybe a little bit shorter. We can have a regular scheduled hangout or something like that. But we'll see. As far as content, though, what's better? Do you think tutorials, more in-depth discussion on what's going on the map? What do you think? I got some folks chattering away in Discord. Dell is making mention in Discord and then pulled it back. Oh yeah, I should mention this. For all of you that are joining us here in the live stream, so Lawless and Meiji Men, of course, you can be part of our Discord community depending on what your support level is based on Coffee or Patreon, your choice. But if you were part of our Discord, would that be of value to you? Like I put that in there as a sort of a tier in the support stuff with Coffee and Patreon, assuming that would be of value to you. But if it's not, then let me know. What do you think would be better? How can you, let me try that again. How can I better provide value to you? Whether it's, like I say, with the content or the sort of the perks of the different support stuff, or what works best for you? How can I make this more fun for everyone? Or here's another question, a question for the community. How can we bring SFB and FNE players coalesce us or bring us together on a channel like this? I mean, it doesn't have to be this channel. It could be somewhere else, but I just think of it in the context of we're doing it now. What would be a good way to sort of tap into our sort of ADB community of folks who like to play FNE and SFB and all things track? Maybe you're a strategy player from the computer game world, like you like Civ or Total War or whatever your flavor is. How do we bring that into a community of folks who like track and like this kind of stuff? I mean, what works for you? I think of it like in the context of my military experience, like I'm looking around because I'm looking for my beret, but like military patches or ball caps or like merch, that kind of stuff. Like, is that of any use or value? What would that look like? Little things like T-shirts, or I don't know. Would that be of value or of interest to any and all of you? I know that the Axanar folks, so love the Axanar. The prelude to Axanar video and then the Axanar, videos that I've seen so far, I love them. And as part of their community support, they've put out these badges or these patches and these various kinds of other kinds of merch kind of content to be able to support what they're doing. And I think that's great. In fact, on a slightly different. Oh my goodness, there's so much there. I'm gonna read the chat in just a second. Let me finish my little rant here. So when BattleTech was doing their Kickstarter for their BattleTech turn-based strategy game that they have, in their Kickstarter they provided like ball caps with patches, banners, all sorts of stuff that you could get to support that. Would any of that kind of stuff be of interest or value to you? I don't know. You tell me. So let me get back into the chat. Some of it is scrolling past me here so fast that I got to go back to the YouTube. Okay. Doing well. Got back from the day of slinging real estate, Measure Man says. So real estate agent. So Measure Man, question for you. Where in the world are you selling real estate? Are you north of the 49th, south of, or anywhere else around the globe? And what does it look like for you, depending on where you are, with rising interest rates? Not that we want to go too much into depth about that, but I love all things finance and real estate. So great little touch point there. Adopt 10 EP a turn should do it. Oh, did you make a sale about 10 EP a turn should do it? 10 EP for what, Dell? I'm curious. Lord Lawless says, rather a long side pure tutorial. I'd like a deep dive on topic in relation to the current game. So, okay. A deep dive in a topic of the current game. So maybe explain how you thought about supply and how it worked out in your last move. Oh, okay. So for example, instead of, if I understand what you're saying, let me repeat it back so I'm getting it right here, Lawless. So what you're saying is that instead of a tutorial, although that may or may not be useful, an exploration of how supply, for example, came into effect in the game and how I used it or considered it in the turn that I was doing. Is that fair? Is that what you're looking for? If so, give me a yes, happy face, something. You let me know. Measure Man says I'd like more tutorials so I'd feel more comfortable playing. Woo, well, Measure Man. Jim just joined into the chat, and Jim, one of our players right now, is in the midst of brewing up Toil and Trouble, Cauldron Burn and Cauldron Bubble. Is brewing up another. He's our lead on developing our next campaign, and if that would be something you'd be interested in, you let us know. Not that I'm trying to wag a finger at you, just that please let us know. Dell, it wasn't a copyright issue. If it wasn't a copyright issue, anything with Garon's face on it. I totally agree. That meme or that like bug-eyed look is like the gift that keeps on giving. I love it. I feel like maybe I should, if there was a way for me with my wonderful hairline to get a Klingon do and do my own set of Gowron impression, and then that could be the new thing. That'd be kind of cool. That would be cool. Can you imagine I'll like dye my beard black and like make it really like Klingon-esque, and then have like the Klingon forehead, or maybe more like a General Kang forehead, something like that. That'd be kind of cool. Like I could do the Christopher Plummer look. That would be neat. Let's see here. Dell says, you said, what could you do to help? Smiley face. Yes, Lawless says. For example, explain the supply rules in context, making rules less dry. IMHO. What does IMHO stand for? Because I'm an idiot. Obviously. Jim says, hey, Bill, Dell, Tony, Norm. Hi, Dave. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're up to five concurrent viewers. This is good. The question is, can we get it up to 10? I don't know. Our live streams, by the way, for those of you who are catching this on the replay, and I guess for those of you guys who are joining us now, our live streams, our weekly live streams on Saturdays, are getting into the double digits on a regular basis. We normally hit now peak concurrent viewers of over 10 people. And when it comes to all things on live stream, I mean, this isn't Ninja streaming on Twitch or I guess YouTube now, and getting thousands and thousands and thousands of views. I mean, obviously not. But once you get into double digits, things start to pick up. And I think it would be great. I don't know if that we could ever get to 100, but it would be great to see us get to be able to set goals and reach concurrent viewers on the live stream of like double digits, like 10, then get to 20 and 30 and 40, 50, like maybe like do something like that where we could, and you tell me, what does this look like to you? Would it be possible for us as fans of what we're doing here on the show to be able to reach out to our friends and contacts who do stuff Trek-based or who are online and say, hey, meet me at 11 o'clock on Saturday on the New Worlds live stream and ask a question. Ask a question about whatever's happening on the map, or ask a question about the rules or something. Like, poke the bear being this guy, and see how we can like give you that value and that response. What would that look like? Because if we've got 10 people who are currently watching the show on Saturdays, what would it look like to get 10 more people to watch it concurrently live? Because one of the things that obviously tickles the algorithm in various other ways, but is just good for like the content of the show, is the chat. And the more people we have in the chat, the more of a dialogue we're having, more of an exchange. That's cool, because despite what it may look like, I don't like just sitting here and talking like a talking head. I like the back and forth. So in my honest opinion, thank you. In my honest opinion, thank you. Because I'm an idiot. I don't get the, in my humble opinion, my honest opinion, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It's all good. Lala says, I can open stream up in my other 3Y. No. I mean, I appreciate that, Lawless. That's a great way to game the system. But no, I'm thinking about like actually getting more people involved. Because so let me tell you a story. It was spring in 2021. I had been playing this game with a core group of folks for some time. And I was watching my circle of players shrink and shrink and shrink. And I thought to myself, this Federation Empire game is a dying breed. I know that there's got to be other people out there who play this game. I'm going to try and do something that I know how to do to be able to put the word out there and see if I can attract more players. And that's how I started creating videos around this game. It was initially called Lost Stars, which was the name of that campaign. And so I was creating content, Star Trek Lost Stars content, to try and sort of put it out there and get interest of folks who like to play the game, and maybe they would follow the show. And the idea, the main motivation for doing it was to get more players and build that player base. So from a fundamental perspective, that's a huge success. We have over 200 people who are subscribed to this channel that now say that they like content around F&E. Let's be clear. F&E is a real narrow niche. Like, how many people do you know like Trek enough and specifically strategy turn-based F&E? So we've got over 200 folks, 208 folks that like that content here and now. So that's great. Now the question is, how do we make this a bigger, brighter light to attract more folks, the heat and the light on us to be able to attract more folks around this game? Because ideally, in an ideal world, or like a vision, a dream, I have a dream about creating a community of players who, we get us all together and we can all play together in multiple campaigns going on throughout this sort of organization, that we can collectively build hype and excitement, or as much as we can, around Federation Empire, maybe developing new sort of ways to play the game, and really create some energy around it. That, I think, would be like, that's kind of like is one of the ideas that came to me when trying to create this content, was create a place where players can gather, get together, play together, and then how can we push that out to the world so that we can create more energy, more excitement, more focus on this game, because this game is great, but it doesn't get a lot of attention because it's big and it's complicated and there's not a lot of places you can buy it, and there's so much other stuff out there. So the more hype and energy we can create about it, the more heat and light we can focus on it, and the more sort of excitement we can bring. Let me get back into the chat. All right. Let's see. Bill says in Paris, ? I'm not sure what that is reference to. Are we looking for some kind of romantic dinner, Bill? I don't know. Jim says, I know half a dozen more, and 2 of them, Del and Paul, are playing in New Worlds. Yes. So, let's like I say, let's build up this community. Let's get all of us under one tent, because if we can focus that interest and that energy behind, it doesn't have to be this channel. Like I want to be clear, I'm not egotistical or thinking that like this is the thing. I just like playing this game, and I don't want it to go away necessarily. So the more I can focus or bring us together around this game and have fun playing it, the more we can do that, the better. And that's my focus. And in the context of the community that we're building and how I, Tony, can serve you, you let me know. Like what kind of stuff, like for example, Lawless has talked about, let's create some videos talking about how this rule affects the in-game stuff and how does that apply. Great. I can do that. What other kind of content can I put out there that would be appealing to you? You tell me. I think maybe based on what Lawless has said, a tutorial followed up with a tutorial application, like a tutorial for the general FNE, and then for the context of the New Worlds campaign application. This is how supply is working in our game. Boom, boom, boom. That kind of thing. So yeah, we can talk about that. We can definitely go down that road, that avenue, and I'd be very interested to see the response from the community on that, because yeah. Jim saying, hence my new ingredients for the next campaign start. Yes. Well, so one of the things when it comes to the 4X nature of this campaign, one of the things that we're exploring in the new campaign that we're looking to start is introducing some, we'll call it spatial geography. I don't know if that makes sense. But terrain type features that will impede or enhance what's going on. So for example, we did that to a certain degree in the introduction of wormholes. Wormholes are a short circuit, an avenue, a portal with which you can reach out and touch somebody on the other side of the map. That's a huge tactical and strategic play, one way or the other. Also being able to incorporate other kinds of terrain. We haven't done that yet, but that's something we're looking into. As just another sort of piece of flavor or added element to the game. Things like the briar patch, right? Like an area of space that you can't transit through, like a mountain range, like you would on a normal fantasy map. How do you deal with that? So, little things that we're looking at and potentially dealing with. We'll see how that works as we go forward, but it's exciting. It's exciting to check it out, and it'll be neat to see how this sort of takes shape. One of the principles that we're using in developing this 4X variation of FNE is that iterative try, test, assess. So we're coming up with these new options. We try them, test them, find out how we can make them better, or if they're not working, eliminate them, reiterate, come up with a new version, and do it again. And so that's essentially what we're doing. We're doing that right now with the current campaign, the New Worlds campaign, and we'll see how that goes going forward. It's going to be really cool. I will say this. Big shout out to channels or like communities like Critical Role. That's a huge inspiration for this kind of content. I mean, I remember I watched I think it was the first ever live stream from Critical Role where they were doing it in their dining room. And I think at the time that I was watching it, there was some kind of voiceover. It was like an interview or something. And they were talking about back then, before Critical Role blew up. And was it interesting? The fact that those guys never thought in their wildest dreams that anyone would care to watch them playing their D&D game, and the degree to which it became so popular, and the success that they're having now. I mean, Vox Machina, their campaign is an animated series on Prime, on Amazon. Like, wow, that's amazing. They have millions upon millions of subscribers who watch them on Twitch and YouTube. They are a multi-million-dollar business enterprise that is phenomenal. Now, I am in no way suggesting that this could be something to that degree of success. If we could capture even a fraction of that kind of attention to be able to refocus it on this kind of stuff, like F&E, SFB, how fun would that be? How much fun would it be if, based on the attention that we would bring to SFB and F&E, that we could interest Paramount or whomever to reinvest in the IP with ADB, to expand that license or create an option to be able to create another variation of SFC and or an F&E strategy game. Imagine this. Now, we all, like, I'm a huge fan of Warhammer 40K. The fact that Warhammer has its own Warhammer Total War, awesome. And there's folks in our group, in our campaign, who played that game, which is awesome. Imagine a Total War game, Star Trek based. The strategic level would be like F&E. The tactical, like you're fighting out your battles in you're doing that real-time strategy, army management of the combat, that would be your SFB. You could do the ship-to-ship battles that way. It could be turn-based if you want, or whatever you want to do. You could do it in more traditional impulses and whatever, however you want to manage that. But you could have a Total War variation of F&E and SFB working together. And you don't have to overly think about it because the structure and the rule set are already there. The basic architecture of how to design that game is done. You just got to code it. Create some fancy graphics. Make it look good. Same thing with Warhammer. The Warhammer game is done. Total War, Creative Assembly, the company that does that, they just had to like implement it in a digital format, an online format. And granted, that's not easy. But if you've already got a template to work off of, it's so much easier. And I think they could do that certainly with, if there was a way to manage the IP with CBS, Paramount, and ADB to be able to facilitate that. Oh man, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. And I would love to make content around that 10 times, and then twice again on Sunday. So, I don't know. I'm kind of going off on a little spin here. Let me throw it back to you guys. So, I don't know exactly who's still in the chat. I can see we still got a number of folks here. So, whether it's Jim and Bill, I know you're probably still there. Dell, if you're still around. Lawless, Mejiman, you guys tell me what it is. What would you like to see us become? What do you want New Worlds to grow into? What do you want us to be when we grow up? Tell me. Because I'd love to do it. Give me that inspiration. Give me that motivation. Give me that drive. And we can move in that direction. I mentioned before in our chat with Daniel, the GM, that was yesterday, how much I would love an opportunity to be able to work collaboratively with ADB. An opportunity to be able to, again, bring heat and light to the games and the gameplay and the fun that we have playing this game. I know that a lot of the ADB folks are former military guys. I'm a military vet. We have that in common. Granted, I'm Canadian. They're American. I just think there's lots of opportunity there. We love all things Trek. We're huge geeks. I really just think there's a lot of opportunity. A lot of opportunity to be able to create fun stuff that people will enjoy playing and build a greater community around it. If you think about how much has come from the Warhammer folks, why is the name escaping me? Games Workshop. Thank you. Games Workshop has done so much in the past 20, 30 years with their IP and the development of it. I think we could do as much, if not more, in collaboration with CBS, Paramount, and ADB. I think we could do the same kind of stuff. All right, I see some more stuff. Mission Man. Okay, found this place off of Facebook you were doing posts on. Have you ever considered that system and lets gamers have chat hangouts? Can't remember what it's called. Discord ? I don't know if you're being facetious, but yes, we do have a Discord channel, and to be part of it, we have that as a benefit in one of our support tiers. So yes, absolutely. But and maybe this is me not understanding or appreciating how much can happen in Discord, but the I've seen Discord as sort of like a private channel that you create where people can come together, voice chat, text chat, stuff like that. I don't know how much of a public face it has or how much marketing potential there is, like, for example, YouTube does. So I don't know. I am not a Discord expert by any means. I just know that that's a place where we come together to be able to discuss, chat, and exchange ideas around the game. So yes, we have a Discord channel. If you want to join it, we have a tier that allows you to do so. And of course, if you're a player, you'll be in the Discord channel to be able to facilitate the playing of the game. Jim says, a group of gamer guys and gals who make new friends and find old ones again via our group. That's true. That's what we do. Yeah. That's it. That's all. I mean, that's what we do. We have fun. We enjoy banter back and forth. And it's all about having fun and being friendly and having a good time with each other, as opposed to, I'm not sure everybody else's experience, but I mean, there are certainly folks out there that have other reasons that they play games. I'm not sure. But either way, there are folks out there that you can play with that might not be adding to your fun factor. And if that's the case, that's not what we're about. We're all about having fun, adding to the fun, adding to the value and the enjoyment that everybody has around this kind of stuff. And that's our focus. How can we up the fun and make it more enjoyable for you? That's what we want to do. So we plot shenanigans. Yeah. Okay. Ask and clarify rules. Yeah. I mean, our Discord channel is an opportunity to be social. It's an opportunity to play out some role playing aspects of the game, and then be able to talk about rules and things like that. Clarify issues that are coming up in the game. Because again, some of what we do in our game is slightly different than the traditional rule set because of the nature of it being a 4X game and the intent that we have. The rules, generally speaking, like 99% of them fit perfectly. We have to make some minor changes here and there just to facilitate the 4X gameplay. And of course, as is everybody else's goal, is to get the Klingons smacked. But Lawless and I are on the same page. Klingon dominance for all. Right here. Klingons forever, baby. Whether you're ridge forehead, smooth forehead, whatever your preference be, it's all about the Klingon Empire killing it. Or, more to the point, killing you if you oppose us. Otherwise, nefariously getting Tony into hot water. Yes, well, I do enjoy a good bath. Jacuzzi, if you'd like. If you like to try and roast these nuts, go for it. Give it a try. Just beware the backlash. That's a good question. Narrative fiction. All right, so I got about a couple minutes here before we sign off for the hour. Narrative fiction. Would you like to see more of that from us? We've started with some of it. It started taking a sideline going into Discord channel stuff. Would you like to see more of the narrative the narrative fiction that we're creating around what we're doing? The dialogue, the discourse, the storylines, the hidden, like we're not great authors by any means. We're not great writers, but we are creating content around the picture that we're painting. For example, in the Klingon Empire, the way I'm playing the Klingons is inspired by the Warhammer 40k faction known as the Alpha Legion in the pre-Horus Heresy iteration of that. Instead of there being 2 Primarchs in the Warhammer 40k example, I have 3. I have Alpha, Omicron, and Gamma. Excuse me. And each one is the same, but they represent and execute their particular interpretation of things ever so slightly differently. Alpha is like, he is balls to the wall, full military dictatorial approach as possible. The Omicron is more diplomatic in nature, using subversion and discussion and negotiation to reach the goal and objective. Gamma is, there's a storyline I'm running with Gamma, but effectively he's overly transparent and open. And by giving you too much information, he obfuscates what is really happening. And through that process, kills you. But they're all aligned. All 3 of them are aligned on the intent and the goal and the objective. They're all these, genetic super beings kind of thing. But they're very, very manipulative, very deceitful, I don't say deceitful, not deceitful in the sense of being malicious, but rather obfuscating or like camouflaging their true intent and message in the flowery language or other tools to be able to reach their objective and goal. And so this idea of using the Alpha Legion as the inspiration, never trust what they say and even less what they do, that kind of idea. So a couple other things here just before we get to the top of the hour. Dell says, need to chat to Bill about a certain neutral zone. We'll see ya in Discord when you got time. Okay. Jim says, role-playing your empire is one of the things we use as an excuse to go to war or call someone out or change some other empire's opinion of another or your own. Yeah, there's a lot of role-playing. There's a lot of sort of, I'll call it metagaming, but not in a negative way. Like it's role-playing to be able to support and validate what it is you're doing in game. And your motivation for doing it in game is based on, what you're looking at strategically, perhaps, as opposed to what you're doing strategically being motivated solely by your role-playing. You may choose to do things from a role-playing perspective that wouldn't benefit you from a tactical gameplay or a strategic gameplay perspective. 6 of one, half a dozen the other. Each player is going to play their own version of that differently. Bill. Okay, Del. When sign off, I got time if you want. Measure Man says, I spend hours learning weird lore from various games, even those I've never played. I'll never play. I like good world building. Okay, so it sounds like you might be interested in that kind of storytelling stuff. We'll try and get that out there. Jim says, I have a lot of fun hamming it up with the militaristic religious zealotry. Yes. The only challenge, of course, with that is that when you get into the crossing of sarcasm and humor with religion, that can go really well or it can go really badly. It can be a fine line. Of the hydrants, of course. Bill says, it's all game oriented. Like when my WDD went through a wormhole, I wrote a little story. Yeah, so we write little stories about this, all this kind of stuff. So with that said, we're now at the top of the hour. I don't want to take up all your time. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us on this. 5 concurrent viewers, not too bad considering. I hope you guys enjoyed the replay of this. If you've watched it this far, then please consider giving it a thumbs up. And if you liked it, that is. And of course, if you want to help us continue the journey to 500, then please consider subscribing and supporting the channel as we grow and get to the point where we want to be able to unlock that community tab, which is at 500 subscribers. YouTube will grant us the community tab, and then we can pump out more content for you in a different format, from polls to pictures to all sorts of stuff. So at the end of the day, I just want to say this. We really appreciate you, the community, coming back, watching this stuff, engaging with us, chatting with us, being involved in this entire, storytelling campaign that we have. I really enjoy it. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your support, your interest in this kind of stuff. And like I said, when it comes to this game, it's all about bringing us together, having fun playing it, and creating more opportunities for people to play and enjoy this game and the stuff that ADB creates. So if that's something you're interested in, and would like to support, then please, again, the subscribe button is just down below. Hit it, hit that notification bell. And of course, every Saturday at 11 o'clock, we're doing a turn reveal. We're doing the discussion around what's happened, and we're letting you know how the campaign is evolving. So we'll see you then on those days, Saturday at 11. And of course, if you enjoy, last thing for me, did you enjoy this Brews and Bloodwine? If so, put it in the comments, let me know, and we can do it again. Just let me know how often you want it, and that's how often we can do it. So with that said, thank you very much, everybody. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you next week, or I guess next Saturday. Bye for now.